All right, it's the Rundown, Wednesday, June 12th. It's your pal Clem here. We got Patty Boy in the KFC radio studio and Bosco playing injured, for the record, playing injured, which we'll get into in the after show for sure. Are you in the big man's office?
Yes.
The boss man? Oh, yeah, I see the glitter. Painting there. So Rundown today presented by NASCAR. NASCAR is coming to Chicago this summer. We got a bunch of Barstool people up there, and NASCAR will be back. 2 days full of racing and nonstop entertainment. 4th of July weekend, NASCAR racing through downtown Chicago and the iconic Grant Park. Can I get an Eddie impersonation, Rico? Can you do an Eddie?
I actually can't do Eddie.
I'll try to do it.
Bang, bang.
Entertainment-filled weekend with your favorite artists featuring Keith Urban, the Chainsmokers, the Black Keys, and Lauren Elena. The 2024 Chicago Street Race will be the most talked about event of the summer. NASCAR is back in Chicago for 4th of July weekend. Purchase Barstool's $99 special ticket offer for general admission on Sunday. Our boy Large is the best at the Eddie impersonation. Yeah. I'm sure he'll be around for all this NASCAR stuff as well. So it's a beautiful, beautiful time with NASCAR. Patty, you went there was that Daytona you went to?
Oh, yeah. It's my second year at Daytona. I've been to Bristol, Tennessee. If you haven't been to NASCAR, I was a little bit hesitant to go. I was like, I don't know if this is for me. It is without a doubt the coolest, most well-run sporting event I've ever been to. I want to go to the one of the ones where they're doing it like through the city streets. I think that would be awesome. But even if you can't go to that, it is like it's fun. It's a culture. People are drinking, they're grilling, they're hanging out. Everyone's there to have a good time. Highly, highly, highly recommend checking it out.
Big time. I went to one in Charlotte back when I was at an old job, and they were going to move us to Charlotte. And we're like, oh, the NASCAR race here. We're like, we'll check it out. Brought in our own 30-pack each. Just bring in 30, put it under your seat. And like the technology back then was ridiculous. You had like your own screen so you could like follow racers, get a like clear view of everything. And then it's one of those things that takes your breath away in person. Bosco, have you ever gone?
I have not. No, it's on my list though. I definitely want to go.
You got to check that out, man. You're going to
love it.
Dude,
it's so loud too. Yeah. Like you don't realize like those cars start up and I was like, what the fuck? I was like, it's this fucking loud the entire time. Like you get used to it, but you could feel it in your chest. Very, very cool.
Loud, fast, powerful. That's the way I describe a NASCAR event, and it rules.
That's America, brother.
That's America. You said it. And speaking of which, another thing going on July 4th weekend, Joey Chestnut reportedly banned from the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. The news hit the internet, and it was one of those events where everyone was just blown away, firing off takes. Apparently, Joey Chestnut got paid by Impossible Foods for a vegan hot dog. And then Major League Eating said, quote unquote, we are devastated to learn that Joey Chestnut has chosen to represent a rival brand that sells plant-based hot dogs rather than competing in the 2024 Nathan's famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. Chestnut was reportedly paid $200,000 last year to appear at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest and was offered a $1.2 million deal over 4 years moving forward.
All right, hand up. I want to go first.
Go.
I'm so dumb that I thought he was trying to eat vegan hot dogs at the competition.
I did too.
I've been a little out of it, but now I'm connecting the dots. They said rival brand. I'm like, oh, you obviously can't go against the rival brand of Nathan's. But it's a little bit like money talks, man. 1.2 compared to 200,000, and you know that the whole world is going to want you at the competition. I don't know. It seems like a little bit of the best of both worlds. Like when people are like, Joey, how could you do this? How could you turn it back on America? It's like, well, 1.2 mil, dude. You know what I mean?
So the 1.2 was from
500% raise. Am I doing the math right? 600%
So
raise?
The 1.2 was Nathan's, what they offered him for the future. So it was basically $300 a year.
Okay.
So he was getting $100K more for Nathan's. I don't think we have the numbers on the vegan, which I feel like you're Joey Chestnut. You're looking to make a splash. It's kind of like people in like go from one company to another. They're trying to make a splash. Our girl Alex Cooper, right? She went to Spotify, and Dave's like, I can't really offer you the same to stay here.
Or you just have a mental breakdown. You try to go from one company to the next company. That's possible.
Hypothetically speaking. Hypothetically speaking.
Dude, I don't even think it's the money. I think he probably looked in the mirror and is like, every time I take a bite of one of these hot dogs, I'm taking 10 years off my life. I got to do something to change up the formula here. So it's $300,000 per year.
That's how much he gets paid just to go?
Just to go for the Nathans.
What's his actual deal with the new company? Do we know?
I don't think that's been reported. Now,
it's just he's the face of it, is what I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Joey Chestnut, before this, had the highest approval rating of like any human in America at this point, right? He took down Kobayashi. Kobayashi retired like a month ago, and everyone was like, "Oh, remember that fucking guy?"
Yeah.
And Chestnut wiped him off the map. And now, but however, before we went live, I got an alert saying that the head of Nathan's hot dog eating contest commissioner said that he hasn't technically been banned, but it's just one of those things. It's like he's not banned, but he is banned kind of a thing. Again, if you can't eat your own hot dogs, that's the thing, especially have a vegan hot dog and everyone else is eating down lips and assholes and all that kind of stuff.
They can't just make an exception. It's like we can't just be like, this is an American. Also, I love that you got an alert about that. Exactly. That's the best. I'm sitting there running to the computer while he's taking care of the kids. I got an alert on Nathan's. They can't make an exception for this? Like, who cares? Joey Chestnut is bigger than the hot dog eating contest. Just let him fucking do it. Let him wear the shirt that says vegan and do it. I don't know.
How quick do we forget that man literally saved the hot dog eating contest, who last year was ready to cancel because there was thunderstorms, as if you can't eat hot dogs inside. And remember, he was like, "We're going to do this." And there's that picture of him screaming, and we all went crazy, started waving our flags. It was like Rocky beating Drago all over again. I have to admit, though, like
that's his second best moment at the contest, though. Still telling Big Cat the buns are running fast, whatever the fuck that means, is still number one. I said that story to an English guy, a guy from London that I worked with in a sales job. I was like, the buns are running fast. I told him the story like from that. And he was like dying. He was like, I think it was the next year. So the 4th of July contest was coming up. And he's like, "What are you doing for the 4th of July?" I'm like, not, going out to shore, watching the hot dog contest. Like, "Oh, you watch that hot dog contest?" I'm like, "Yeah, I actually know a guy who knows Joey Chestnut." And he said the buns are running fast. The guy laughed for a half hour. He's like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, "That's the funny part. I don't know, but I just know that it means something."
He's a goddamn patriot. It also feels a little like I don't know who to blame here. Like, so if he say he's making $300,000 to just do this Nathan's thing, right? But it's the biggest event of the year for Nathan's, for Chestnut, for Major League Eating. If say this vegan company comes over top and offers $3 million, so 10x. Like, I want to be mad at Chestnut. I want to be mad at Nathan's, but like. America, like everyone's like, this is fucked up for America. America's built on capitalism, by getting that paper, right? And, I'm all like every other athlete. He probably has a peak. He's going to probably start going from 63 hot dogs, which is ungodly, to 60 to 55. And he has like a future to worry about. All that sodium's going to fucking kill him. Me and him are basically running neck and neck right now for who's going to die first. So it's tough for Chestnut. I walk away. This is what I say. I don't want to hate on Nathan's. I don't want to hate on Joey Chestnut. Fuck the vegans. Fuck PETA. And fuck these goddamn people who put Joey in this position to basically turn down the hot dog eating contest. It's fucked up. I don't like it one bit.
He's an idiot if he doesn't live stream himself eating hot dogs.
Yes.
He should
do his own where he sits there and does he eats 7. He just goes and starts at the exact same time. Yeah. And then as they go, he just laps. Who's like the second best hot dog guy?
So I was thinking this. I put out a thing yesterday. I think Costco should come out because everyone knows the Costco $1.50 hot dog. It's the most respected hot dog in the game. It's a monster of a dog. You go, "Hey, Joey, come here. You eat 60 of these. It's still less than $100 when it's all said and done." The thing is, Joey would get like, I don't know, man. The Costco dog is much bigger than the Nathan's. Maybe get 25, 30 down, but he'd still be a legend. Costco is, a legend in the game in its own right. I think that works for everyone involved. I saw Dante Blog, Paige Sporanic, already had her own hot dog eating like this is where you gotta like if you're looking to get your clicks up, you gotta kind of attach yourself to this story. So and also I gotta shout out TJ. He kind of like I think he said he was sniffing Clizzy or something like that, which sounds a little extreme. It's actually he just smells a fake. He smells a rat here because I guess Impossible Burger made a deal with Nathan's like 3 years ago. So there is a chance it's going to be like Snoop Stop Smoking, and it's all an ad for a fucking.
I could see that happening for sure. It's just all a ruse.
Yeah, keep your radars up. Don't burn your Chestnut jerseys yet. That's what I'm saying. Another great here we have to get to Jerry West, RIP, the logo, all-time great basketball player. I feel like he's one of those guys that is somehow still underrated despite being like for like younger guys like us, and we're not even that young. Just an all-time great basketball player. Rico, we'll leave with you because we're going to leave with
made the finals a million times. Like you got a little second life of him as whether he was that crazy as a GM in the Lakers office with the winning time stuff. The logo, the nickname is the logo, for Christ's sakes. Like, so he's just iconic. You know, again, way before my time, didn't watch him play, not a big like highlights guy of him, but the logo, him being the logo will live on forever. So shame on them if they ever change it.
Agreed. Pat?
Yeah, I think like just basically what you guys said. Like I understand what Jerry did for the game and his importance in the game and him kind of bringing the game into more mainstream. Like, I don't really know his highlights. I think personally I'm kind of bored by, the old highlights because it was a different game that people played. But you can't deny, I mean, like Rico said and you said, he's the logo. He is basketball. There's certain people that are basketball. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Jerry West, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. These are like
Jalen Brunson.
Mount Rush. Jalen Brunson. Kristaps Porzingis. Derek White. These are the guys who are basketball. So do we know how old he was?
86 years old.
Wow.
Right.
So,
hell of a life. 86 years old. Legend. Rest in peace.
Absolute legend. Finals 9 times, won it just once in 1972. It's one of those things where highlights probably won't even do it justice. I feel like someone just needs to do a Twitter thread where it's like the Tony Gwynn stats, where it's like, this is fucking all the shit he did, and the numbers are like fake life.
Who did he lose to? Who did he lose to a bunch of times? Was it? It's obviously Boston.
Goddamn Celtics.
I know,
Bill
but
Russell.
did he lose to anybody
Was
else?
it Russell? He lost, I believe, to the Knicks the year of the Willis Reed thing, which I know you'd like to shit on Willis Reed for coming out and hitting two
Well, I don't
jump
shit
shots.
on it. It's just fact. He only scored 4 points.
Oh, God. The other thing about Jerry West that I automatically thought of growing up was I knew he was a great player, but he was the GM of the Lakers.
Yep.
He built helped build the Showtime Lakers, as we learned in Winning Time, but then also built the Kobe Lakers, traded for this young kid out of high school, traded Vlade Divac for Kobe Bean Bryant, get Shaq to sign with LA. Granted, the Laker name probably had something to do with that as well.
Biggest contract of all time for Shaq at the time.
Yep. Just an absolute steal. And then the craziest thing is he became the GM of the Grizzlies, expansion team a few years earlier, said he just wanted to win somewhere they hadn't won before. He barely got Gasol there. He got Hubie Brown was coach of the year. And people don't remember this now. Rico, I don't know if you even know about this. Back in the 2003 NBA lottery, it was the Grizzlies had, one of the chances to get their number 1 pick. They get the 2nd pick in that draft due to an old Otis Thorpe trade. If the Grizzlies got the 1 pick, they could keep it. Grizzlies got the 2 pick.
1 protected.
Goes to Detroit Pistons. If it was 1, it would have been LeBron James. So he gets LeBron, who already he turned the Grizzlies around with Gasol, and he was winning 50 games with Gasol. You get LeBron James, the entire Grizzlies franchise changes. Jerry West is even known even more so as the GOAT in terms of the GM. And then he ends up going to I think at the end of his days, he was like an executive board member of the Warriors. And, that was before they became the Warriors. So it's like one of the top 10 greatest basketball minds maybe ever. And so RIP to him. And then talking about the current finals right now, Patty Boy, Celtics minus 800 to win the series still. That's impressive. 2-0.
But they're a dog tonight. They're a dog tonight. So if you're looking at the odds.
Are they?
Yes. They're a 3-point dog.
How much of a dog?
3-point dog. Oh. So if you're looking at the odds just straight up, if chalk held, it would be 2-1 with Dallas at home in game 4, minus 800. The Celtics do look better. That's the other part. I see this could potentially be, I'm talking myself into being 2-2, but I'm also looking at the Celtics are just a better team. You know what I mean? But if the odds are talking to you, you're looking at this being 2-1 and the Celtics in a game where they have to win to keep the Mavs away from them. It's an interesting – this tonight is a big one, a really, really big – we finally get a Mavs backs against the wall. This should be a really big one tonight. Really, I know that goes without saying without the NBA Finals, but this is the one I'm truthfully all-time dialed into.
I don't like to use the term scheduled loss, and you do figure sometimes there's a scheduled loss if you're playing these long series. I still don't. I'm not worried about Porzingis being out. Yes, it sucks when he's on the floor. We're almost unbeatable. But last time we played Dallas without Porzingis, I think we won by 9 or something like that. We can still win. It's going to be tough. I mean, it's going to be a dogfight. I was at game 2. I saw it firsthand. Kyrie and Luke are 2 of the best finishers in the game, but I just can't. It seems too good to be true almost that we're up 2-0. We're going into Dallas. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that we could sweep. We're going to lose 1 game in Dallas. I don't know if it's this one or I don't know if it's game 4, but selfishly, I'd like us to win in Boston if we're going to win the whole thing. Go back to 5. That would be ideal. I'd rather lose tonight, I guess, than game 4. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling confident. It was crazy too because
you'd rather lose tonight than game 4. You're crazy. You want to be up 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0. They're
you want to be up 3-0. Like I said, if you lose,
yeah, I guess you're right.
Start putting the Mavs back in the series. Shut the door.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, no, you're right. I would rather, I guess, if we're going to lose 1, lose 4. But it was weird. Like when I was there, even though we were down, like, and it was a really close game, there was just this air of confidence, like in the arena and almost from the team. It's like, okay, we're down by like 9. I think we're down by 9 in the first quarter. And it was like, no one was worried. Like, I feel like we should be a little bit more worried than we are. I know we're a better team, but it's like, no one's really batting an eye that Porzingis is out. I fucking knew he was going to be out. He's a glass man. He's hurt. They called his leg injury extremely rare. It's like, I mean, you went through it with him, Clem, in New York.
Yep, you learn a lot of medical terms with him. This one, I pulled it up too. He suffered a torn medial retinaculum, allowing dislocation of the posterior tibialis tendon. Day one stuff. Right?
He's a true unicorn. Everything about him is a unicorn.
He should play though. I think he should. He should play tonight. Like he said, like just play until the wheels fall off at this point.
Yeah.
And he walked out to his press conference without a limp. I don't know how much he was like faking it, being like, I can't have a limp in this walk. Like if he truly feels fine and they're going to blow up your leg anyway, go just play in the third game and then see what the fuck happens. I mean, we'll see. It's 8:30 tonight or 8?
I mean, it's going to tip at like 9:45 no matter what the schedule time is.
I hate how long apart the games are. It's like I get that there's all these ad dollars they can run on all these like affiliate shows. It's just insane. It's like if this goes to 7, it's going to be like early July by the time this is over.
It's tough.
It's the worst. And that's the other thing too. It's like they have, I think it's Wednesday, Friday, the next 2 games. So it's like if Porzingis plays tonight, he may not be ready for 4. It's like they might just keep him on ice and be like if we need him for game 5. Now it's like without Porzingis, they win, but like the Pacers for like getting swept were in every game, and the Pacers were not very good. They beat the dead Knicks team or whatever, but it's like they are just not a very good team. Luka's all fucked up too, so I don't know what to make of it. And then
Kyrie is scary. We saw, of course I was a scumbag. I like stuck down like closer seats for the warm-ups, and I was like me and my like 40-year-old brother like taking pictures. He is like emotionless. And like some of the stuff he does at the rim, it's like mind-blowing. I know we're not Kyrie fans here, but like I am a Kyrie fan. It's like he's just that good. If he goes off and Luka's ribs aren't fucked up, like Shaq said, Luka has 2 speeds, slow and slower, but he's the best at changing between slow and slower. If those guys are on, we're fucked. See what happens. Sorry to interrupt you, Clem.
Is that my internet fucked up or is that his internet?
I don't know. I think it's his.
Yeah. There's 2 speeds, fast and Barstool HQ internet, which is dead, essentially. So I think we lost Patty there for a sec, which, I mean, the KFC radio, I think, is a dead zone anyway. The other thing is I am like the Jason Tatum discourse. I was sick of it like 2 months ago, and it's gotten to the point where it's like, just who's better, Jason Tatum or Caitlin Clark? Like, let's just merge these stories together and throw them into the fucking sun. Like, if I never have to hear about Jason Tatum being good or bad.
That's why, like, as much as we love the NFL, I think, like, you know, some of the storylines that they come out with is just, it beats it into the ground. You know, like, who cares who's better, Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown? They have, they have both of them. So, unfortunately, like,
yeah, they're just going to rock with that.
Yeah.
So,
I'm freezing, guys. I'm switching rooms. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I think the internet froze you out there anyway, so it's perfect. We're gonna the part of my cheesesteak is gonna take us to the bridge here. Part of my cheesesteak announcement. We just added a new limited time item to the menu this week. The Buffalo Tender Sub features crispy chicken tenders tossed with buffalo sauce, topped with ranch and pickles on a toasted hoagie roll. We've been adding a bunch of new menu items these last couple of months. Remember, you can order the Big Cat combo and get your cheesesteak of choice, fries, and a drink. For dessert, try our new donut dippers, delicious donut holes tossed in cinnamon sugar and served with a rich caramel sauce. And wash it all down with the Max Special 2 sodas. With more than 1,500 locations nationwide, find a Part of My Cheesesteak near you and order yours now at partofmycheesesteak.com. Use code PMC20 for 20% off your order. Rico, I don't know if you're in the same boat as me, but I had to give up cheesesteaks for the week of the Philly series. Or 2 weeks of the Philly series.
You're craving.
And it's it's always when I want them the most too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it's been tough. So I'm going to unload and gorge on a part of my cheesesteak now that I am clear from all Philly sports ruining my life for the time being. Next up, Marshawn Lynch, video of him going in camp where he was some mom freaked out on him for yelling and making their children cry with his style of coaching. Rico, as a big time coaching guy here, what's your take on beast mode making these moms lose their minds?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to make them cry, but I do think everything now is a little soft. Like, Kevin's talking about his kids' league and everybody's getting a trophy and this and that. Like, we should bring back a little bit of toughness. Don't make them cry, but bring back a little bit of toughness.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm okay
I agree. Patty, can you even hear me right now? I don't think Patty can even hear me.
Yelling?
I'm with you on this. Marshawn's one of those guys that it's a lot of fun if you're watching him or, he's doing whatever Marshawn Lynch does. But if you're dealing with beast mode, there's a chance, like if you're in a car with him and he's going 150 miles per hour and laughing his ass off, it's a lot more fun to be watching that video than to be in that video. And maybe that's the case with your kids at the football camp or whatever it may be. Next up, Elon Musk announces that likes on Twitter will now be private. We do not call it X. We do not call it X, formerly known as Twitter. We call it fucking Twitter. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to call it when he has to liquefy it at some point down the road and someone else buys it back. For the longest time, Twitter has been allowed you to look at people's likes. Our boy McPhil, notorious for that. I'm sure we've all seen McPhil's likes. Patty, what do you think? Do you like that we can no longer see it and people can start
I never even knew that was like a thing that people did until probably a year ago. I was like, oh fuck, you can look at what people like. Like if there was this celebrity who was liking porn, I think it was Ted Cruz who got caught liking some weird porn, and that's what alerted me. I was like, oh, people check people's likes. That's like next level creeping. I don't really do it. I mean, it doesn't really affect me, but I am conscious to make sure I don't like anything fucked up.
Big in sports.
Like if I'm looking at a porn on Twitter and I don't make sure I don't like that.
Yeah, it's big in sports. Like, oh, this guy's rumored to get traded. They start liking that. So we're gonna have to start guessing a little bit more with the storylines. I think guys are gonna let it fly now. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, Josh Allen's overrated, and they could start liking. They can like it, knowing they don't care. There's no repercussions.
Do you have to set it to be private, or is it just you can choose whether it's private or not, or everyone's likes are private? Like they're eliminating the tab.
I think they're eliminating the tab. That's how I perceive it.
Oh, I'm going to be liking up a storm now.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I know you said the other day how they're basically allowing porn. So it's you like some porn if you like that. You don't have to worry about people seeing that. And I mean, if there was hypothetically an election that's very divisive coming up, you could kind of just root for your guys by clicking that little heart button. I think, Rico, the people that rat on the likes, skells, huge skells.
I know that's just what they do. I don't know how you have enough time to go into it like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'd rather just read the stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy behavior. Crazy behavior. And last but not least, crazy story coming out of Maine. A woman was walking down the beach with her husband, and then she fell into fucking quicksand. She got sucked down, the pit or whatever you want to call it, and she had to get pulled up. Suffered some scrapes or whatever. Hand up. 90% of my life, I was terrified of quicksand. Then the last 10%, I was like, quicksand can't be real because I never hear about it. It's only in big Donald fucking Duck. Story for quicksand. It's in I feel like it's in the 3 in DuckTales is quicksand.
Yeah,
big time, cartoon. Definitely. Cartoons, video games. Yep. Like Mario, you'd have the quicksand taking it down. I don't know. I agree with you. I don't believe it's real or. They're just walking along the beach and happen to be there. It's crazy. And then you got to tell people, thinking about that, you're at a dinner party. Mary got nailed in quicksand last week, and me and Pat are texting under the table, you believe this bullshit? No one believes you.
Because if you can't fight, that's the scariest thing. You can't fight it because you got to, flatten yourself out and, roll out. Because if you fight it, then you go down. That's the whole thing, right? My life was scared of – when I was a kid, I was scared of 3 things. I was scared of tornadoes because I saw The Wizard of Oz. I was scared of quicksand because of the cartoons. And I remember when my parents, they were getting the house done, we had cement and I fell in it and I thought I was going to turn into a statue because that was the other thing. If you got cement on you, you turn into a statue in 2 minutes. You'd be a solid fucking brick and you'd be toast. So how did you wash off the cement? Oh, that's got to be – oh. It was I almost drowned in. I would have drowned in cement, basically, as well. I wouldn't have turned into a statue. I was more worried about turning into a statue. My mom came out on the phone being like, what the fuck were you doing out there? They said, do not go near here because they were building a cement wall. And, of course, being a dumb idiot kid, I went there. So luckily I didn't fall in quicksand or else I could be dead right
Speaking of people who could be dead, let's get to the after show. Our boy Bosco.
Yeah.
What's the diagnosis with the arm there from the basketball game?
Radial bone fracture, which means a break technically, which I didn't know. The woman I was dealing with was not very nice. I was like, is it a fracture or a break? She's like, those are the same thing. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't pay attention to biology. So like, leave me alone. I didn't go to med school. So I got to go back. I got the sling for 2 weeks. I go back in 2 weeks and we'll see where it's at. So not great. A lot of pain. You can move it a little bit. There's definitely some motion. Sleeping on it's a nightmare. Trying to help around the house is a nightmare. It's a tough spot.
I heard this is obviously your dominant hand, so I heard like a lot of the things you need to take care of yourself is you have to go with lefty.
And swiping lefty is brutal.
That's tough.
Dude, I just can't believe we don't have to make it about him. When I saw that happen, I was like, this is exactly why I didn't want to play in this league. It's not you. It's just I knew I would do the same thing. I would jump up and then there would be some fucking idiot who doesn't know what's like an appropriate defensive play and what is just a dangerous defensive play. And then you're fucked. Like if I fell and redid my shoulder, I would have literally murdered Gus. That's insane. Have you talked to him at all?
I made it through the entire season up to 6 minutes left. That's the tough part. Like I was this close.
Have you talked to Gus at all?
No, I don't. I mean, it's a half. Like, listen, they're like, he apologized, but it's a half-ass apology. You also like the play. He's done this before to the other guy, and then he tried to help him up. He didn't try to help me up. He was just like, "Oh, what did I do? Like, how could you possibly get mad at that?" It's men's league. Like, if you came over, if he took the charge, I'd have less of a problem because I would have had something to land on. But like, you're supposed to grab somebody like that and help them. Or how many times have you seen in a men's league? You just don't swipe at a guy because it's like, all right, it's 2 points. They beat us. You know what I mean? Like he goes by us and scores. All right, take it out. You're like, there's way less of like the contact. So if you didn't know about it, if you didn't know it was a dirty play, like ignorance is no justice to the law, or whatever the fuck this saying is. It just was like part of it's on me for even playing. You know, like
no, I don't think so. I don't think it's on. I think you have like there's a calculated risk when you get to that age.
Yeah,
but. It's like the same, like the first time I hurt my shoulder was the same thing. I was going down for a layup, saw a guy, I go, this guy doesn't know that like he should just step back if someone's doing that. But if you know it's a dirty play, that's like,
I mean,
not
turn your back,
the seriousness of.
Yeah, it's a dirty play. It's a dirty play. So it sucks.
What's the time frame for you here in terms of being back 100%?
I don't know. They're saying 4 to 6 before full range of motion. I got my one golf day, July 1st, the week we're off. I did it the week we're off. So, which, you know, has been the one day that might be in jeopardy now. Like everything is fucked.
Yeah, you can't fist bump at DJs with.
I was retired from that anyway, but yeah, you can't really do it lefty. Like you're in trouble. Yeah, I take food out of the fucking living room. Like it's everything.
I mean, if levels comes on, I mean, do you just throw caution to the wind?
Just bobbing heads.
East bar, West bar?
Throw the whistle in, let the whistle do the work.
There's always there's people who come into DJs with like the boots on and the crutches. I'm like, bro, stay home. So I would be disingenuous if I ever went down there with the sling.
I've always said the easiest way to diet is to just eat with your offhand, and you just don't want to do it probably after time. So that's the best way to calorie count.
Yep. That's so good. I never heard that's like a fat guy thing. I want to eat with the offhand.
Yeah, it's harder to do. I want to shit less, so I'm eating less.
That's tough, man. And then I saw that there's like back and forth between the Chicago, New York office about them playing a basketball game. Like, would you play again, Bosco?
No, I'm done. I'm done.
You're retired.
Yeah, I might shoot on the machine that they have. Dude, I'm done. The risk is not worth the reward. I'm not going out there and scoring 30 in any game. That's like above my head. I can't go out and score 30. I might on a good night give you 12 to then they know the paint's open if no one's drawing charges, and then you're just making a green light there. It would hurt it.
That's not great.
But it's just not worth it. Maybe I would coach.
Clemmer wants that game so bad. He came over dead serious on the couch. He's like, if we play Chicago, you're playing. I was like, dude, I can't raise my right arm. He's like, they just keep backing out. It's such fucking bullshit. Clemmer wants that game. Is it going to happen? Like, what's the latest with Chicago?
I don't know. I think everybody's a little too worked up about it. I think it eventually happens, but having been where I'm at, I'm like, it either happens or it doesn't. I'm okay with just staying away.
New York is dropping like flies too. I mean, these two guys are rotation players and they're just out instantly. So that's a tough break. So I guess we'll see what happens there. That's the rundown, and we'll see you guys mañana.
Thanks, guys.